Day morning, October the 23rd. Rise and shine, rise and shine. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week in the mornings, chat about what's going on in the world of weather. Hopefully starting your day off on the right note. If not, hold on. Get your coffee, pause, take a sip. Now it's good. All right, let's look outside, shall we? See what's doing. A live look outside. There's our shot. Beautiful, beautiful morning here. This is New Smyrna Beach, our tower cam there. Looking fantastic. Orlando International Airport tower cam. Let's check in there, see how it's doing. Always a good morning. Downtown Orlando. Check in. Yeah, it's nice. That's the kind of morning I want to see. That's the kind of morning I want to see on a Wednesday. All right, first warning live Doppler radar. Checking in, and we've got a couple little showers here or there. We'll zoom in off the shore. See, coming over to the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. A few showers kind of crossing in here. Look at you almost sneaking by me. US 1 out near the Flagler-Volusia border. Nothing big, just a couple little showers. And then Southern Brevard, really more of an Indian River kind of thing. But right out near the Sebastian Inlet, watching a few showers there. So a little bit to track. That's okay. Temperatures out the door, fantastic. Mid 60s in Marion County, at 69 in Orlando, 73 New Smyrna Beach, 70 degrees in Melbourne. And our forecast today looking great. Quick sprinkle, 10% chance of rain. Otherwise, comfortable temperatures, bright sunshine, beautiful weather. This is good weather. What can I say? This is good weather. This is the kind of stuff we want to see on a Wednesday. Getting through the work week, thank you very much. Heading out to the theme parks today. The Magic Kingdom's all decorated for fall, for Halloween. It's gorgeous. I was out there a couple days ago. Highs in the lower 80s. High pressure continues to be in control, though looking ahead, notice weak little backdoor cold front. Now, what's funny is like the BSR had shown this. So had a little indication of a sneaky little boundary. It's going to just keep things comfy. So comfortable afternoons, but not a huge swing in temperatures, right? So what that means is that basically for Friday night football, we're looking fantastic. University and DeLand, this is the West Volusia clash here. Temperatures in the mid to lower 70s. Oviedo and Evans, more middle 70s. And I've got to say it, the Bucks forecast for Sunday is going to be looking fantastic there. Hopefully the injuries won't scar us too much, but you get the idea. Looking ahead to the weekend, there's going to be a sprinkle or two, a 10% coverage of a sprinkle or two. Otherwise, we're really looking great out there. I think that in terms of the overall forecast, we've got great weather ahead. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Hope everybody's enjoying this beautiful weather pattern. Any questions about our stuff so far? Otherwise, we can dive into the tropics, just kind of see what's doing out there. See what's doing. Thankfully, there's not much to talk about. So gonna bury the lead here. Not much to talk about right now, I would say. All right. Now, let's talk before we get to anything else tropically. Let's just make sure we've got today covered. All right, highs in the mid 80s. Looking good there, right? 7-day forecast. We're gonna take a deep dive on the tropics today, just because there's stuff to talk about eventually, but not right now. That's rookie hype on the front. Let's pump that hype up. I know, yeah. We're not gonna hype, but anyway, beautiful weather. Entering into a few showers by mid next week. Morning lows are looking fantastic. I will just share the modeling is indicating by about November 1st, 2nd, 3rd-ish, highs could be back into the 70s. See how this kind of changes a little bit? I'll take that. I had to change some settings so I get notifications. Good morning to you, Jeannie. I don't know anything about this, the notification, so I apologize. Oh, Matt's still with a fever. I apologize, buddy. Hey, yeah, feel better. Notice though, November 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, you see how the highs are in the 70s, but the morning lows are also in like the 60s and 70s? that's not a cold front. If it was a cold front, the morning lows would be dropping. That's some interesting weather there. And that's where we're going to talk tropics slash other things. But that's, I think, going to be the next thing to watch in that time frame. The first couple of days of November. So keep a mental block in that, like, daytime high, morning low, very close together. Something's awry in that time frame. November 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th-ish. Right? So we'll get there, but for all intents and purposes, 7-day forecast is looking great. All right. So tropics then. Right now, nothing going on. Oscar weekend, it is no longer a thing. Nadine, no longer a thing. No development expected over the next 7 days' time. The next 7 days' time. All right. But if we look at the kind of longer range outlook for the tropics, this is a really great product. And essentially, there is now a medium chance of seeing something late October and early November. It's the exact, as a matter of fact, that's the product from the National Hurricane Center. This is the product that we drew, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. We drew this product, so it's very in line, and we said October to early November, but it's clearly highlighted on the National Hurricane Center and the Weather Prediction Center's forecasting. So there is a rising idea that something will develop in the tropics. Now, I put together a little video yesterday. I'll put together another little video this afternoon talking about afternoon model data. But essentially, computers are continuing to show formation in this area during that time frame. Okay? Rich is asking, will I be okay? You certainly should be okay, my friend. That's always the goal. Make sure everybody's okay. Manolfi and I were talking a little bit about this yesterday, and the idea of tropical development during the month of November is a thing, right? When we look at the climatology, stand by. When we look at the climatology for the month of November, these are kind of the areas we typically watch for tropical formation in the Caribbean, because that's where some of the water temperatures are the warmest. Typically likes to cross over and do this little thing, but it's all based on fronts around the United States and around Florida. And the concern for Manolfi and I is that these fronts are slow going in recent years. And thus, if there is something that wants to develop in the Caribbean, does it have a channel perhaps to move into the United States? That's a possibility. So that's one of the reasons that, yeah, we should watch. Am I telling you you're going to get hit? Absolutely not. Am I telling you that we should be worried? No. Am I telling you we should be watching? Yes. Okay. So something to watch here. Okay. Let's look at the models, kind of get an idea of where we are. First off, this is the raw GFS model. Okay, the blues and the greens out there near the Turks, Caicos, and Bahamas, that's basically the low pressure from Oscar. All right. So rolling that away, but you can see Central America, South America, little piece of energy out there in the Caribbean. This is the 6Z run of the GFS. So this is the most recent run of the GFS. Pressure's lowering. That's a 996 millibar low. That is Thursday, October 31st in the morning. So theoretically, Halloween morning, there will be something south of us. Okay? What's particularly interesting is watch around South Florida right here. Watch. You see that? I'll rewind, fast forward, rewind. It almost has like these other little meso lows orbiting, which is a little fakakta, right? And it's kind of Fujiwara-ing around and doing God only knows what. But the idea here is that the operational GFS is showing something in the ballpark early November. All right, that's the current run. Let's go back from the 6Z run. Let's go to the 0Z run. Same odd motion, and see, like, it moves away. Go from the 0Z to the 18Z, low pressure, moving away. Go to the 12Z. It's got like an area of low pressure forming, moving up into like southwest Florida, super weak, and then the bigger one recurves and stays out. So it hasn't dialed in any paths. So I just want to make sure before we even move on at all, I want to make sure you know, like, we're not locking anything in. We're not locking it. The idea though is run to run to run to run to run. The GFS is indicating some development. Peter, the GFS stands for the Global Forecast System. Okay. All right. European model. There's Oscar. Remember, the European does not go out that far, but it's starting on Saturday, November 2nd to plot an area of low pressure. So the European's a little slower than the GFS is for development. Let's look at the Canadian. There goes Oscar. Broad lowering of pressure, nothing tightened. And that's November 2nd. Okay. So, yeah, we'll go back. Yeah. I mean, the icon only going out 120 hours to 180 hours. I mean, we can just look and see. And of course, Futurecast does not go out far enough, so it's not going to do us any good. Yeah, so there's that. So anyway, the operational models, it definitely looks like the GFS is the more bullish of the model presentation, we'll say. All right, over to the ensembles. And if you're unfamiliar, we've got almost 1,000 people in here. when we had, Milton, and we had like 13, 14,000. So like there's the clear difference. So here's the ensemble members of the GFS, each ensemble member having different ideas of things. So what happens is basically the GFS and the Euro, they run. And then they go back and then they're like, all right, let's overthink this a little bit. And they throw out these ensemble plots. And you can kind of see, like, for example, I'm just looking real quickly, like the first one to develop something is ensemble member 3 on 18Z October 30th and wants to put like a hurricane around Cuba. And then you can see some of these other blobs. Anyway, we can put them all on top of each other, which is the preferred method of tracking this. So ensembles. Starting to see some ensemble members developing an area of low pressure around 6Z on the 30th. Nothing too strong. But you can see, here we go, ensemble members. And it looks like the vast majority of them would follow the climatology of staying east of us, kind of looping up and around. But nothing is set in stone, so yeah. All right. Now, the European, I just want to look at the control real fast. Give me a moment. Just want to look at the control member of the ensemble because it goes out a little bit further than the operational. The control is showing a broad low and then like a front and some slop. So the European control, which is basically just a longer range of the it's a longer range of the deterministic run. The control goes into the onto the ensembles. So it just kind of gives us an idea. The European shows some low pressure around, but nothing powerful or organized. When we switch over to the actual ensemble members, there you go. Not as many ensemble members as the GFS, but still showing some signs of life. So that's why I think that there's a decent idea that it's definitely later though, right? Like that's the GFS is showing like October 30th some development, whereas look at the European, it's like November 4th, November 5th, trying to see some development there. So that's where they're not together. So I think that at this point in time, the only level of consistency that we have is that ensembles are coming alive with something. Outside of that, it's too early to tell anything. Now, one of the reasons that we are fairly confident that something would try to form is by looking at the Madden-Julian oscillation. This is one of those things that we can pick out. Oh, man, I hate when I do that. The basin. Okay. So this is one of those ways that we can kind of look at the basin. So basically, when you look at this map, the idea here is that if it's brown, it's not particularly like favorable for tropical development, we'll say, okay? Or at least it doesn't have the added lift and the added spin, okay? But watch how we start to see some green showing up when and where. That's the 28th of October, and that's in the Caribbean. And notice that whole area around the Caribbean, around Florida, that's November 2nd, November 3rd. So we go in phase here, late October into early November. So when you go in MJO favorable phase and you see the models lighting up with things in that time frame, that lets you know you're probably going to have something get going. Particularly when the MJO gets in phase, it's much, much, much easier to develop. And when the models are showing something, even if they're the ensembles showing something, it at least gives you an idea. So again, I want to make it very clear on this that this is not at all designed to hype anything. It's just letting you know. And for anyone that wants to question that, like, that's my job. My job title is meteorologist. We brand ourselves as first warning weather. What are we doing here? We're giving you the warning, right? Pattern looks favorable. No, this dude wants a hurricane. No, he doesn't. I hate working hurricanes. The 12-hour shifts, the sleepless nights. I get that we need to do it, but I need you to understand, like, that's not fun for us. We do it, and it's a very important part of our job. And when I look back at it, it's the most rewarding part of my job. I don't want to do it. So I just need you to know I'm not over here like cheering for it. Okay? But I'll give you all the information. I will give you the data as long as you know I don't want it exactly how much you don't want it. Okay? Is anything coming here? No, nothing is set in stone. Okay? But there's something to watch. So let's watch. But let's also celebrate the idea that we have 38 days until the end of hurricane season. And I'm going to be counting down those 38 days. Sean says there's no hype, my friend. Just smelling what the rock is cooking. That's right. Smelling what the rock is cooking. All right. Questions about that? Questions, comments, concerns? We can dive deep into any other things. Water temperatures in the Caribbean are susceptible to development. So there's that. Wendy says the first weekend of November is Wine and Dine Half Marathon weekend. I really hope if anything comes our way, it's after that weekend. I hope things don't happen. I hope it stays out to sea. Maybe makes it for a nice breezy run for everybody. Janice, tell us about how you did on your instrument training. Choir minds want to know. Oh my God, it was amazing. That was amazing. That was amazing. Flying for 2 hours without seeing anything. You want to? I'll show. After we talk weather at the very end, I'll grab my foggles and I'll show you. You can have a good laugh about it. We'll talk about it at the end. All right. All right, so let's see here. Jamaica needs to watch this. I would say that if anybody needs to watch it, Jamaica would particularly need to be watching this. Yes. Yeah. Janice says nobody wants a hurricane. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Nobody wants a hurricane. That's true. Betty, all of my weathermen keep hollering about hype. I never see that. Not from any Facebook pages. Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok seem to hold the badges for that. Oh, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok seem to. Yeah, I mean, I see it on Facebook. So you just must not be following the hypers on Facebook. I don't follow them either. But people in like these meteorologist groups, these pilot groups that I'm in, everybody's like, "Hey, what's the deal with this?" And it's like, "Oh God, ugh." So anyway, it's there. It's there. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. Jeannie Rowe and the Foggles, yes. If you know what Foggles are, yeah, you know. Meteorologists, not meteorologists. Right, exactly right. Exactly right. Ash says, would love some high pressure over Florida to cause a nice, safe little protection dome. We've had it. But the problem is as MJO goes in phase, that high pressure starts to retreat. And there's that. So, anyway, we'll watch. Listen, we'll watch. Rich says cruising. I don't know what that means. Are you on a cruise ship now? Are you going to be on a cruise ship later? That's cool. I just don't know what that means. Crossing my fingers for no weather. Cruise booked November 4th. Well, Laura, you know there's going to be some weather, right? You know there's going to be some weather. Just hopefully optimal weather. Rich says going to be on a cruise. Okay, November 9th. Should be fine by then. Yeah, one way or another. There's one hyper I would like to send off on a boat. Oof. Yeesh McGeesh. Your lady's asking when's the next cold front? Ish. That's the struggle. Ish. So anyway, ish. The models are trying to figure this all out. And as I had mentioned, right, like with those temperatures, November 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, you see how the daytime highs come down, but the morning and afternoon get close to. That's an indication that it's not a cold front, but it's sloppy, cloudy, crummy kind of thing. So anyway, the models are not showing it. I mean, maybe by like November 8th, that sort of thing, you know? Yeah, it is what it is. Jamie, good morning to you. Chris, can I borrow your foggles for my wife while I drive? Oh, yeah, yeah. Jermaine's asking, when is the NHC going to mark the Caribbean spot? So the way that the Hurricane Center does their tropical weather outlooks is they put outlooks out for areas of development within a 7-day window. So we're not in a 7-day window yet. So that's not going to happen for a little while. They always have this product out there, kind of a longer range thing. But yeah, that's the way that works. So until it's in a 7-day window, Hurricane Center won't. But this is the way to watch for that. Yeah. Okay. So we're within 2 weeks. When we get within 1 week, that's when the Hurricane Center is going to start to identify it. All right. Any other questions about the tropics? Stacy says counting down to the finish of hurricane season. Not trying to wish any time away, but no, I get it. Good Lord, I get it. Toby's asking, is there anything on the BSR? Ah, yes. The old BSR. All right, let's look. Stop. Rock, hit 'em up, top, roll, roll. Okay, that's a rough ride up. Okay. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. BSR. If you're unfamiliar with this, this is a teleconnection that we can use sometimes. And this gives us an idea of what could happen way down the line. It's not perfect. Nothing is perfect, but yeah. So right there, decent cold front. Let's check. That's around the 28th, 29th. All right. So that's just before Halloween. Big cold front. But watch what happens afterward. Look at all these lows south of us. There's a low right there. There's a low in the Carolina. Now I'm curious to see, now that I mention that, that's November 2nd-ish. Low south of Florida, but a low in the Carolinas. So let's go back. And I want to just look at the global GFS for a second here. And see, here's where it's a little different. There's a low south of us, but there's no low in the Carolinas, right? Like if you look at the BSR, that's November 2nd, or that's the GFS on November 2nd. That's the BSR around November 2nd. So they're not fully agreeing with each other. So anyway, um, we'll have to see how that plays out. At any rate, though, it has lows around in that time frame. And then afterward, high pressure, keeping everything at bay. So that's good. And then if we go, we can take them. I do this just as like curiosity killed the cat kind of thing. But like looking even further out, we apply the GFS to the BSR. And that'd be like the 13th, 14th of November, a little Gulf storm. 13th, 14th of November. Somebody write that down on a calendar. Little Gulf storm, 13th, 14th. Heck of a cold front coming through there. That's like the 16th, 17th. And then another little South Florida thing around the 19th. This is, it's like a really powerful, almost a severe weather type thing there around the 21st. And then another little rush of energy there around the 23rd. So that's the weekend before Thanksgiving. And then that's getting ready for, what is that? That's the Monday of Thanksgiving week. High pressure and control, beautiful weather, another cold front getting going out west of us. So that's what the BSR is. It just kind of gives us ideas of things. Pretty clear signal though that looking ahead to Thanksgiving November, there's going to be some storms. It looks like moving through, which for me on a personal level, that's not great because Wendy's asking, are those indications of hotspots for hurricanes next year? This is the new pattern. Yeah, we're setting up into the new pattern. So, to that point, could be. It's too early to tell anything, but yeah, that's definitely stuff to watch. So interesting. November's looking interesting. Couple of like that 13th, 14th area, that little storm coming from the Gulf. That'll be interesting if the BSR plays that out, won't it? That'll be interesting. We'll watch. We'll track. We'll see. Kimberly says, I'm so happy I discovered you. You do a fantastic job. Thank you. Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thomas says, all right, that's enough about hurricane talk. I'm sitting here with a sweater on right now. Yeah, I'm fine with a sweater. Probably need to go turn my pool heater off. I feel like these kids are not going to use it. So, anyway. All right. Questions, comments, concerns? Anything at all? You guys have anything about the 7-day or anything at all? Questions? Anything? Ugh. All right. So you wanted to know how the instrument training was going. All right. So I've got my flight bag here. Let me grab out my foggles. I'll show you all. Okay. So when you're flying instruments, you have to. The whole point of flying instruments. Oh, hold on a second. The whole point of flying instruments is you're flying without looking outside. Okay. All right. So when there's no, like the other day, there weren't many clouds, couldn't really go flying in the clouds. So you wear what's called foggles. All right. So let's talk about foggles. So the point of foggles is you see how the top is frosted, the bottom is not. So the idea is you put it over your glasses. And so all you can see is the instrument panel. I have no idea what's happening above it. So when you're flying, you're just flying and you're looking at the instrument panel. You can't see the weather. And It is a view limiting device. It is designed to keep you from seeing the outside world. Ugh. So, that is how you learn to fly instrument. Your airline pilots, your military pilots all had to do it. Good times. So, anyway, that I loved it. I loved the instrument flight. Loved the instrument flight. And love the idea of learning more instrument flying. Yeah, Cindy says they're stylish. Carol's asking, "Are you alone when wearing them?" No. At this phase, I need to be with an instructor who's giving me assignments, telling me what to do. So yeah, I'm in training mode for the instrument flying. My son is a CFI here in Orlando. What planes do you fly? I'm a Skyhawk guy, but there's a Mooney over my head. The plan is to buy a Mooney. So yeah, one day. Charlotte says my hubs was an instrument instructor back in the 80s. A lot has changed, but a lot hasn't changed. Monica's asking, are you a pilot? I am, but I'm a visual pilot only right now, VFR guy. So I'm a private pilot. I'm working on my instrument rating. Yeah. Jamie says the Foggles are very similar to the LRC. There's not much wrong with that statement. Yeah, not much wrong with that. Foggles, they're for flying. Exactly. Joseph, if you fly over Melbourne Airport Friday, you will see F-18s at Shelter. Oh, yeah? I don't have any plans to fly on Friday, but to see some Hornets or Super Hornets, never wrong there. Kimberly says retired ATC girl here, always trust your instruments. That's it. The craziest feeling is getting used to getting used to that spatial disorientation. Kimberly, thank you for all that you've always done to keep everybody safe. Buy the Hornet, better thrust to weight ratio. The Walla can barely handle a Skyhawk. Anyway, all right. Questions, comments. All right, enough of that. Enough of that. Questions, comments, concerns. Michael's asking, will you be flying one of those Hurricane planes? No. No. No, I'm going to be flying myself, my friends, my family. But the idea of getting the instrument rating is to be safer, to open the envelope, to become a better pilot. A good pilot is always learning. And so, cool, I'm a private pilot. Great. Let's do better. Let's learn more. Let's get better at everything. Lawrence says, my dad was United States Air Force IFR fighter pilot, passed away 2 weeks ago at 94. Sorry to hear that, Lawrence, but thank your father, your family for the service. And hey, 94, that's a heck of a run. Matt says the Raptors are coming to Sun and Fun. I'll be there next year. I'll be there. Are you planning to go into a hurricane and examine the data? Those people are really good. If I ever get invited to go ride along, I'll ride, but I don't plan on taking, a Mooney M20F into a hurricane. I'll tell you that for free. So, anyway. All right, people. Be good. Thank you for hanging out. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. If I had the opportunity to do it, absolutely, Michael, I would. Matt, I'll have to for sure, but don't be sick. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you all for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I'm doing the noon and 4, so I'll see you on TV in a couple hours. That work for y'all? Sound good? All right. Be good. Take care. Bye.